So, people need to be able to um, tell the difference in between a threat and a criminal offense, and not a threat and not a criminal offense, because I simply reached out to somebody and literally, in just a conversation way, and expressed somebody how I felt about them based off of what I seen them post on Facebook, and also a situation that happened with um, the Existence Project when I was working for the Existence Project. And basically, um, I just feel like I was let down and, misled a little bit. And so I was feeling depressed about that, and I stepped down from the Existence Project because an individual that I won't name found my video on YouTube about the Existence Project and what I was doing, and went and contacted the CEO, owner of the organization that I won't mention, and basically, started working with this organization when I was promised from the CEO that he was going to increase my hours and like had a new role in the organization for me. And I was like working with this organization for a year, and I started at the beginning volunteering when I was homeless. Even when I was homeless, um, I participated, um, and so basically, what happened is that this individual, female, basically replaced me as a storyteller, and my hours got cut in half. And then I didn't. There was no new role or anything like that that ever happened. So that's what made me depressed and stand down. Um, so the CEO started working with this female individual and started investing uh, their energy into that, and then kind of let me fall off. Um, being somebody with trauma and lived experience, and them knowing the sensitivity of the situation, so that's why I stepped down. I felt almost betrayed, like let down a little bit, because I was like literally calling my mom, telling her like, "Yo, I'm doing well. Um, my boss is like gonna increase my hours. I'm doing good work right now, and I'm gonna get like more of an active role in the organization. So this is great. Like that means like I was just homeless a year ago, so I'm thinking I can bring my mom out here and get a place." And I called her and I'm all happy, giving her good news, and like so I was so happy about it. And then the CEO of the organization just kind of like fell off, withdrew from me contact wise, and things just kind of died off and just went away, and then the momentum was lost, and then I just felt like replaced and let down and let go pretty much. So I said, I was hurt at that point, and I just said I'm just gonna step down because I don't feel I feel like I'm struggling right now emotionally, so I'm gonna stand down. But that was the reason for it. So later down the road, employment was ended. Even though I stepped down, they sent me a contract of termination that I was terminated, which is false. I stepped down, so I wasn't really, on paper, it looks like I was fired, terminated, for whatever reason, some problematic stuff. Um, so just weird stuff. So eventually, you know, my trauma kicked in. I feel I was a little triggered from that, and I'm bipolar. Like I freak out sometimes. You know what I mean? Like I grew up in Hamilton, Ontario, where people literally don't even talk; they just punch you in the face. So it's like I grew up like thinking that was normal in life. You know what I mean? But um, so like I freak like I get mad sometimes. I tell people like "fuck you, man." Like but in the professional world, that's not acceptable, right? And obviously, like, I'm only 29. I'm trying to develop myself out of that stuff, but it takes time and it still kicks in once in a while. So, but anyways, this female individual, I basically had them on Facebook, and I seen pictures of them, kind of like, certain things that were related to like satanic rituals and like witchcraft and like um, Satanism, um, certain symbolistic things. So I just looked at that as like kind of a little bit evil. From my experience, I've witnessed some females that kind of like, you know um, I don't know, practice witchcraft, and they take it seriously, and it's like I believe in that type of stuff, spiritually. So that's just my belief system. But anyway, so I, told her, I understand you got trauma, blah blah. I said, yo, like, this is what happened. I basically got replaced by you, and like, my hours cut in half, and that's why I stepped down. I was all depressed, blah blah. Just trying to tell her what happened, and then I said, me and you don't even talk at all. You've never communicated with me, but you found my video about what I was doing, bypassed me, and went right to my boss, and then built a connection with them, and then they let me go and had my role replaced after I was just told that, I was gonna get a new role and advance in an organization and like get more hours. So I'm all happy, trying to like call my mom, telling my mom that I'm gonna be able to, you know, um, help her like eventually financially, and she's struggling and suffering. So I'm trying my best to like make it in the world and do something meaningful and purposeful, and that's why I started doing that stuff. And I was homeless a year ago, been on my own since I was 14, in and out of the streets. Um, so I started fighting stigma around homelessness. Anyways, um, doing this type of work, and so my hopes were very high for the first time in my life. I felt like I had a future, like something that I could do and earn and be able to work and provide, and also help people and remove stigma around homelessness. And it was just a dream that, for somebody like me, um, that you would never think, you could turn everything bad in your life into something positive. And anyway, so I was really relieved to think that maybe I will not have to be a construction worker for the rest of my life, and or a roofer, laborer, when I broke my arm and ended up my rotary cuff, ended up on disability, trying to survive, and like being stigmatized by landlords and employers, and like thinking like I don't even do drugs, you know what I mean? Like, and I would be treated like a drug addict, and I'm still trying to fight to make it out here, and it just squeezes you out. But anyway, so I expressed all that to this individual, and even said about the witchcraft, and I was like, I believe that you're evil, in nature. From what I've seen, that's just my belief. From what I've experienced, I've witnessed females that like literally like practice witchcraft, and like they tried to cause me harm, and like in my past, and I was like, that's a real thing. And like, so I just, I don't, I'm not, I'm against that type of stuff. It's weird. I don't respect it. Evil, like, or representing satanic like symbolism and stuff. Anyways, maybe that wasn't her intent, but I just said that. I'm hurt. I have trauma too. You know what I mean? So, anyways, that's all I said. She blocked me. You know. Uh, so, and then after that, then she contacted the CEO of the organization and said that I threatened her or something like that, and was aggressive towards her, which I have the voice clips. I'm going to play it at the end of this video so you can hear for yourself. I never threatened anybody or was aggressive at all, even in my tone. So that's, fabrication and false claims that, it's slander, and it caused, and the CEO started calling people, that are supporting me right now and helping me, and then they came to me concerned, saying that we're not able to help you anymore because you're threatening and attacking, females on Facebook. And I was like, who said this? And they're like, well, so and so called us and told us this. Completely fabricated, untrue, dishonest. And apparently, this individual didn't even investigate the voice clips or see the context of the conversation to observe it, to have any evidence that I threatened anybody, which is a very serious accusation, and could cause me to go to jail, without any evidence, just by word of mouth, which I've witnessed many times happen in front of me to people. And you would have to go to trial and fight it, but trial usually takes 4 to 5 months. And because you've been accused of a crime, unless you have somebody to bail you out, to give bail for you, you will do that remainder of the time in jail. And I know because I've been in jail, and similar things like that have happened to me when I was young. When I was 18, I'm 29 now. I haven't been in jail since I was 18, 19 years old. So I witnessed a lot of corruption and injustice in the justice system. So it's very serious to me, people making accusations like that falsely. So I communicated that to the CEO, and then he wrote out some script that was also dishonest, and it wasn't 100% accurate, and it also kind of, painted a narrative against me to make me look bad. So clearly, I believe that people feel challenged, and maybe their reputation or credibility is being threatened or challenged based off of things that they're doing wrong. Me, all I did was, when you hear the voice clips, you know what I mean. It's I don't. You're gonna wonder what this guy has any right to be engaging with people. Like, he's like calling all these people that are like close to me, telling them about this, like trying to slander me and make me look bad, saying that I've threatened a woman. And these people were like considering me for employment opportunities and housing opportunities. So now he's burdened my ability to now get housing and uh, scratched off. You know, uh, I won't be gaining any employment, that's for sure, through these people, like through their organizations, or like, or will not be working. Excuse me, working with them. But they did have intent for me to be working with them, in their organization, and like a couple of different people, and like I was looking forward to that. And now that's been taken away from me from false accusations based off of a private conversation I had, expressed myself to this person on Facebook, with absolutely no aggression in my tone and no threats. So now this has been, um, basically, projected onto my character, and now, I'm not going to be able to have that help. And I have been misrepresented falsely, and it's caused, you know, problems now with my stability, and emotionally as well. So it's created emotional damage and actual damage to my life, like my housing and my stability and opportunity for employment, all types of things that have now, I've discussed with my like superiors that have uh, addressed me about the situation, that they can no longer support me based off of this situation. And I'm apparently wrong, and I've done wrong. So, in defense of myself, like, I literally have all the voice clips from the conversation. Never once was I threatening, directly or indirectly. Never once was I aggressive. Even never raised my voice tone, same way as it is right now. Uh, no subliminals, nothing like that. So, complete fabrication that has caused damage in my life, emotionally and in reality. Um, and so I feel like people are doing this, intentionally, to try to, snuff out my resources, in fear of their own reputation and credibility. Because uh, with this individual, the CEO, you know, over a year's period, like, we had personal conversations, and based off of that, I was kind of a little bit judging his character as if he's as innocent as he portrays to be publicly in front of the community. And I know that we all have, skeletons in our closet, but I don't hide mine. and I don't try to pretend to be somebody I'm not, but and I don't try to infiltrate people's lives in a manipulative way by saying that I'm just concerned, and then contacting all my superiors, support systems, without my permission to discuss private conversations with me and somebody else that has, nothing to do with them, even if it does, um, which that's a violation of my privacy, and this is how all of this transpired in the first place. And all I'm ever trying to do was be a part of something, and find purpose and do something meaningful. And people are trying to like paint me out to be like a bad person. And I am definitely bipolar. I definitely will tell you to go fuck yourself if you do something that is dishonest or disloyal to me, or you hurt my feelings in some way. And but I don't always like tell people how I feel when I'm upset. Once in a while I wait on it, I think, and then I say, I think I'm honestly in the right here to express myself, and I feel like the need to do so, and that's my right as a human being in Canada. So as long as I am not threatening people, I might call you swear words or something, but I mean that's not a crime. If you want to make it into a crime because you feel like it, maybe you could, but people swear at me. Do I call the cops and say, yo, this guy called me a snake or a bitch? Like, help me. You know what I mean? Like, the cops are gonna be like, so? Call him a bitch back. Like, whatever, like, or just ignore him. You know what I mean? So, I don't know why people are using what I say against me when I have mental disorders and I am somebody that has trauma, and the CEO of this organization specifically specializes and works with people with lived experience of homelessness that are currently homeless and have been homeless, that have a history of trauma and abuse in their lives. And I'm on disability for those things, on PWD for like chronic depression, chronic anxiety, ADHD, uh, post-traumatic stress disorder, and bipolar. I've been diagnosed with all those things. It's on my file. It's on my, even on my PWD file, which is why I got approved, along with the injury to my rotary cuff, to my arm that I broke. So I'm a little stressed out, a little upset. But I can see what people are doing, and they're creating a narrative against me, and they're try to force me to take accountability for everything when people are not playing by their own rules and people are not being as honest as I'm being. And my honesty is what's getting me in trouble. My realness and authenticness is what's getting people, worried, um, and for their own reputation, because here's another situation with the CEO of this organization. We had a conversation, and I'm at the time I was living at Amwin House, which is a sober house, a recovery house. I wasn't there for recovery reasons or for addiction reasons. It was literally I was homeless, and they offered me an opportunity to have a room there, and get on my feet. And so I took the opportunity, and I did for a year, and then I got employed with this organization. Everything was going well. I was on my way up, and yeah, just all this stuff happened, and that's what really caused me to lose my momentum, and become depressed again and fall into that state of negativity. but the circumstances were unjust and unfair, in my opinion, based off of everything I just told you. So that's the real reason why everything went downhill, and I ended up losing my housing, and somebody threw a brick through my window, and you know um man, all I've ever done is try to do what was right. And I get mad sometimes. I mouth people off. I call them names. That's normal where I come from. Still city tied to my wrist. You got to remember, you're dealing with somebody from the street that was gang affiliated, lived a life of crime, not even by choice. 14 years old, forced to sell crack cocaine by my father, um, and he was a pen timer. He did 10 years in Collins Bay Penitentiary. He died when I was 18 years old. When I was in jail, Barton Jail, maximum security. I got out. They took me to court instead of the funeral. I missed my father's funeral. Like, you know, my first love died, right? You know, my dog died, like my cousin overdosed, like, so, you know, I'm like, you know, I'm surprised that I actually survived for this long, to be honest. But I came out here to BC to like recreate myself and start a new life without my past affiliations like catching up with me, and that's what I did. And I had to start from scratch from the shelter, and shelter is all drugs. Every shelter in the city, it's they just let you do needles and do smoke meth in front inside the shelters out here in BC. It's not like that in Ontario, even though Ontario's higher crime rate and more violent, you know, gun violence and stuff like that. It's a lot heavier. But so then I had a tent, and then bylaw started forcing me to like, they were throwing my tents out. So then I go to the shelters, and then they're full and drugs everywhere, people smoking. Like I'm getting exposed to drugs, like I'm breathing it in secondhand. So I realized, man, I would rather sleep outside, you know. So this is just somebody just trying to get on their feet, man. Like, you know, I was in Courtney going to North Island College trying to take social services, and the shelter closed for 4 months for renovations. I just got a part-time job as a dishwasher. Like every time I get close, it's like something weird happens and it just kicks my legs out, and there was no other shelter. I had nowhere else to go. So they want to pay my ticket to Campbell River. But anyways, just a little idea of what I've been through out here in BC on this island, and like trying to make it out here, and like what's conspired in this situation here. But so I don't know what to say. People are trying to ruin my reputation and credibility over absolutely nothing, just because I address them and express myself about how I left the Existence Project and everything that transpired, and what I choose to believe, my opinions about witchcraft, and about who, you know, who people are, truly, their intent, you know, you know, so. And again, like I have trauma too, so I don't know why everyone's mad at me. But if I say something to somebody, I have to take, like, if something happens to me from somebody else, I still have to take the accountability. Like, and I get that, like, but it's like, how long can I do that for? You know, without actually, like, I am by nature somebody that is an empowered person that comes against corruption, and has experience injustice in so many ways, and corruption within the shelter system, like within the governmental system, the you know, the police system, like the law, like even these homeless shelters, and like people working in these homeless services that offer services, like it's like almost like a easy career path for some people that just look at it like, oh, all I gotta do is this course for a year and I can work here at $26 an hour. And like, I'm not, you know, like most people are scared to be working at a homeless shelter, but you know, some people just exploit that. So you end up with like people that are not there because they care and they want to help. It's just they need a paycheck and a quick career option, you know. But I see all this stuff, and it disturbs me, so I call it all out. I expose it, and that's kind of who I am. My last name means warrior, and like my history behind my DNA and my family tree, and we were knights, we were warriors, like we were fighters. Like some people are civilians, some people are fighters, some people are the you know, lead the pack. Some people don't follow. You know what I mean? Like I'm a pack leader. I'm a protector as well. I'm a protector of justice and truth. Like I've seen it. I've been on the evil side of life, and I know that nature, and I know I can see through people. I know what they're doing, and I know what their intent is. And but people have tried to come against me many times, and misrepresent me, and make false claims that led to criminal charges, all types of stuff, man. Uh, that's what happened when I went to jail. My dad died. The charge was false, and my dad died. I missed the funeral. I didn't take it to trial because I was scared. I was 18 years old, my first offense, and they're like, if you plead guilty, you'll get 2 months. If you plead not guilty and take it to trial, you're gonna have to sit here for 4 months for a trial hearing. So I got scared, and I didn't want to do 4 months in jail. 18, you know, it's dangerous in there, and so I pled guilty. I took the 2 months out of a fear tactic, man. I wish I could go back and man up and just do the 4 and beat the charge, but you know, everything happens for a reason. But just an example of the type of corruption that I experienced, man, with these organizations that Clinton and some of them they've done good for me. They do good for you. It's like the devil. Like he'll help give you a step up, but then all of a sudden switch on you. Like it's crazy. It's demonic. That's why I believe in that stuff. It's like trying to, I already have, like, I believe I have a curse on me and my bloodline, and even certain females that I've been with that like practice witchcraft. I believe that they told me they tried to put a hex on me and did a spell and like made a potion, and like obviously that's laughable, but some people take it very seriously and they practice it, and there's a whole science behind, I don't know, history behind it, I don't know. But anyways, I'm not wanting to be people to even put that negativity in my direction, but so I believe in this stuff. So anyways, that's how this all happened. I have the voice clips too, so I'm gonna play them. Remember, like, I'm hurt, you know what I mean? I got, I feel like I got betrayed and let down and let go, and misled, and like, told, oh yeah, like, how important it was to me that I was progressing, and I was told I'm gonna get more hours in like a new role, and like, how exciting that would be. Imagine how like, oh, like, you're gonna move up in an organization, and you've been in the streets all your life, and you were never able to hold a real a job that like, roofing, like, you know I can't do hard labor anymore. So I thought I found a way to make life okay and earn a living and like find where I belong, and like, so imagine the letdown of that, like, and I was just let go, like I didn't even exist. And then when I got unhoused and like left Amwin House, and like the way that happened, then nobody even like texted me or talked to me. But apparently I was like family and we love you and all this stuff. And now I'm just a person in the street again, homeless. And people have come together to help me and put me in a hotel. And now the CEO of this organization has contacted them with this information saying that I threatened and I was aggressive. And now they want to cease contact with me and no longer support me. And they were helping me try to get housing in a place. And they were going to like, they got me in they paid for a hotel for me. And like they were even offering to like pay a portion of my rent for 6 months or a period of time to get me on my feet until I can get established. Like, and now, they're no longer don't believe that, they don't want to do that now because they think this about me. And now so I told him, called him and said, yo, like, you can't make false accusations. I didn't threaten anyone. Here's all the voice clips. So he reviewed the voice clips, and I talked about him and about everything that I just told you and what he did, and also some opinions I have about him and his character based off of what I've seen. He even tried to get me to do magic mushrooms. He gave me a phone number, for somebody to get hallucinogens, and he thought that I should do mushrooms. And I live in a recovery house, in a sober house, and he's working through this house like in a professional stance. And you're getting somebody that lives in a sober home, you're influencing them, as telling them they should do magic mushrooms and hallucinogens, and this guy is supposed to be trusted. Well, I think this is why he's doing this, is because his reputation is at risk, and I have evidence and proof. And now he's made false accusations against me, and I've defended myself and given the evidence, and I offered for him to log into my Facebook and give him my credentials so he could observe the conversation and listen to the voice clips without anything being able to be altered. And she actually unsent one of her messages. So that kind of shows somebody's intent right there. You can see when someone deletes a message or unsends it. Facebook shows it to you right under it. You can't get away from it. So there's something wrong. And I think people are trying to bury me because I'm pulling their card and exposing them. And, I was just upset because I was treated unfairly, and this is big to me, like, because of my history. It's like do or die for me. I have no backwards to go. I don't have no home. I don't have anybody to help me. I'm on my own. I don't got nobody. You know what I mean? So I just go back to homelessness over and over and over again. Things don't work out for me. So it's nothing for him to just make these calls, and now all these people, now it's gonna affect me on a very serious level. And yeah, now this is, pretty serious. So that's what happened, and I could go on forever, and there's more to it, and I just don't think that this is right in the way that I'm being approached, and because of who I am as a person and what I represent, and honest and truth, and I make YouTube videos, and that's my passion, and I expose corruption, and injustices that come against me, because I needed to document it. To just people didn't believe me, and they were just blaming me for everything, and I'm getting assassinated, like I'm getting slandered, I'm getting like people telling lies about who I am, like twisting things. So now I'm proving it. Now I'm actually bringing the evidence to the public for them to observe these behaviors, and I'm exposing people, and it's creating more problems for me, because people are scared for their reputation and credibility, because they know they messed up. So I wasn't ever going to do that to anybody, though, even though I knew I could go to his superiors and be like, I'm concerned, and I think that this individual is offering me to suggesting I do hallucinogens and mushrooms, and I'm somebody with trauma, and I live in a recovery house, and I don't think he should be working with people that are going through trauma. If that's his outlook, that he thinks that doing drugs is gonna fix the issue when I live in a recovery house, like gave me a phone number to call somebody for mushrooms, like for real. And this is a professional that owns an organization. Yeah, okay. And I'm a bad guy, and I threatened who, and I was aggressive to who? Oh, really? I got the voice clips and all the evidence. You were wrong? Okay, so you wrote a letter to try to justify what you did wrong, and what you've done wrong, by what I've based off of me calling you a snake, because you are, and what you did was weird, and it was let me down, and put me on a spiral downwards, um, which caused all of this, and I can't even express myself to somebody about it without you getting involved and calling my superiors and people around me that support me, and cutting off my resource. And now I'm going to go back to homelessness again after I was just about to get housed through these people that were helping me. Cool. Okay. All right. They call me Cory Resilient for a reason. People have been trying to do stuff like this to me all my life. People have tried to kill me, set me up, ruin my name, call me every name in the book. And I've been fighting this war for all of my life, 15, 16, all my life. So now I'm documenting everything, and I'm actually getting my shit together. So people are not going to harm me anymore in my life in any way, if with a smile on their face, directly, indirectly, claiming that they're concerned, and using that as an exploit to burden my ability to progress in a professional way by manipulating the situation and making false claims, because now I have the evidence that that was a false accusation, which is a criminal offense, and it could also put me at serious risk. So yeah, we're gonna go forward from there. This is my testimony to that. Okay, so here are the messages. And here are the voice clips that I sent. Oh. For some reason, when I sent these voice clips, they all said error, so she didn't get those voice clips. And I can't view them either. She also unsent her message right here. I don't know why. I wonder why. This is what I said. People have been through shit that I haven't been through. I'm not a female, so females go through things that I can't even grasp, like being fucking preyed on. Now I'm talking about trauma, the differences in between trauma from a male and a female. Females go through different trauma than males. Some trauma that would never happen to me, most likely, like women get preyed on by men. They go through sexual abuse, being raped, molested by their, even people in their family. So I understand, the sensitivity and how deep trauma can go, you know what I mean, based from a female or a male. She has a course and she studies trauma and educates around trauma and trauma response. That's why I was talking about that. Raped. These things are the fucking worst things that could ever happen to a human being, and I haven't experienced them, but I understand, because I grew up in the streets and all my girlfriends were raped, molested, and fucking preyed on, and I had to hold them while they were shaking every single night, crying in torment from the visions that they go through of the violent rape that happened to them. So I'm traumatized too. So my first love died. Every girl that I've ever been with has been raped violently. One I had two girls that I loved when I was young, Jessica and Shaylin. Shaylin passed away 2019 from fentanyl. She was like my first love. There was another one, Jessica, and she was raped while I was with her. She ended up seeing the guy that did it. I chased him down, and I seen his face. I recognized him from living in the North End in Hamilton. I told her, she called the police. They went there, they arrested him. He admitted to it. He got 5 years. So the context of this conversation, since the first voice clips didn't even work when I sent them, that was the context of the conversation. And it was based around trauma and what women go through. And I was just trying to level with her and say that I understand you from that perspective and what you do around trauma. But, so understand me for why I feel like this. From the same fucking shit that they went through, it rubbed off on me and it ruined my fucking life, and it stuck with me for the rest of my life. My first love died. My fucking other girlfriend that I loved when I was that age got violently raped, and other shit happened. But so I really do I'm really the real deal, and nobody looks at me like that, and that's their failure to identify, you know what I'm saying, because they're probably not as authentic as I am, and they probably haven't been through the real shit like I have, you know what I mean. But anyways, I always wondered why the fuck, you know what I'm saying, like, it really disturbed me that, you, like, did that and show absolutely no respect to me, like, credibility, like, you don't say, hey, man, like, I'm glad you made that fucking video, man, because then I reached out to Marco, and then we connected, and, some blessings came out of that, but I always give homage and respects and credit to the people that have shown me the light or an opportunity and inspired me to do something, you know what I mean, because that's the right thing to do, but you never did that, I'm disappointed in Marco and a lot of people, still, because what happened to me wasn't right, and people played a game that they should not have played, and they know that the law protects them to do that, and it is what. See, and this is where the manipulation comes in, of where I never threatened her, was never aggressive, was trying to relate to her in context of my own life experiences and the fact that we are both from the street, homelessness, and we both study trauma, and this is what we advocate for, homelessness and trauma and stigma. That's why the context of this conversation is what it is. And now, all of a sudden, she goes and says I've threatened or was aggressive, which is false. And then he goes and tells my superiors, and now I'm cut off from resources and help of these people that actually put me in a hotel for a month, and were helping me with housing, because I finally reached out and started trying to trust these people and organizations and accepting help, which I've never done in my life. And the first time I do, I learn why it's not a good thing to do. It is, it's unfortunate that we live in a world like that. But I honestly don't know why people are the way they are. There's another female that watched my videos, found out about the Existence Project, completely bypassed me, fucking went to him, tried to take over, and then told me, don't fuck this up. and get out of my way because I'm fucking taking your place and all this weird shit. But then I started to identify what the fuck was really going on here. Thanks. No wonder, I'm the first motherfucker that really did it for real. You know what I mean? So I get it, yeah, like fuck. I would probably want to take my place too, you know what I mean? But I created the fucking place, you know what I mean? So that's what people need to try to do instead of try to take other people's positions and bypass them and not even give them credit or respect them in any way. So that's disturbing to me. So I don't feel like you're an authentic person, and I feel like you use what you've been through to manipulate and take advantage of versus actually, like, you do good work and you have a great thing going and stuff like that, but there's still half of you is not purified yet. And you know what? That's my right to have that opinion on anyone I choose. You know what I mean? It's not of like usually of my character to judge people unless they do something that affects me indirectly or directly, where I feel the need to address it, which I didn't address it the entire time. I left it alone. But then, it got woken back up, and then, people started doing things again to try to go out of their way to cause damage to me in a very clever way, professionally, because they've mastered that craft. But I'm not a victim, and I know how to defend myself against people that are making false claims, and this is what I'm doing right now. You're still evil in some type of way, in my opinion, and I've... My opinion, you heard that, right? Okay. Observed that, and I don't know if you practice some witchcraft or demonic, satanic shit, but I seen that too, and that was weird. But anyways, that's how I feel about you, and we've never even had a conversation outside of me and you and Marco that one time. And, he's kind of a little bit weird, man, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's a little bit over... Weird as in, trying to get, somebody that lives in a recovery house to do mushrooms because he thinks that's going to heal my trauma. I'm 29 years old. I've been there before, and that's not the way, you know what I mean? But, and then also being very overly protective in inserting himself unnecessarily in situations that have nothing to do with him, violating my privacy, which he's done before, and conversated while I was on a contract with his organization, discussed my personal situation that we, the engagement me and him had verbally, and then went and discussed that with his coworkers and people in professional circles to discredit me and slander me and make me look out to be a bad person. But like, people get mad, people say things, maybe you shouldn't make, false claims and false hopes to somebody that comes from nothing because you're privileged, you know what I mean? So, if you really claim to care about trauma and care about an individual so much, the way you're portraying, your behavior is not exhibiting that at all. And I'm going to prove that in the next clip. After I'm done with showing you the evidence, I didn't make any threats. And the ones that say error, never even sent to her. And she said she didn't even listen to the majority of the clips. That was from his words. We're protective, and he only hires females, and there's a reason for that, because he cuts the checks. He probably, manipulates and takes advantage of his position as a person that cuts checks, and he only hires women. And I've seen that before. Man. Same thing with the bars, the restaurants. Mostly the bartenders are females. And they dress pretty, like, almost, short skirts, inappropriate. You know what I mean? It's a marketing strategy to get you to buy more alcohol, to charm you with a pretty female. It's manipulative in nature, but it's business, and that's how people operate, apparently. So, but it's just another way to exploit you. And I've seen professionals do this in a similar manner when they are hiring their staff and employees, if it's a male figure, So the weird thing is, like, he was acting like I'm trying to, like, talk to his girlfriend or something. Like, it's really weird the way he behaves and responds. You know what I mean? I get it. I'm a protector too. I've literally caused men to go to jail for 5 years for rape that they did on my girlfriend. So there's nothing you can say to me. I can get her to come on here and make a video too, statement, maybe, if she feels comfortable with that. But point being is that I'm a protector of women, and you're never going to ever discredit me and make me look like I am a threat or an aggressor towards females. That kind of shows me your character, and my observation already, I already felt that you manipulated your position over women and hired women intentionally, just all women, to exploit that opportunity that you might run into as somebody that is paying. He's the provider. He cuts the checks. He's the boss. You know what I mean? So they submit, to that, in a sense, where they won't tell, you're not going to tell your boss like how you truly feel. Like, people try to benefit. Like, there's been lots of women that have tried to sleep with their boss. Like, it's not like unrealistic for me to assume that after I seen how he's kind of like a finesser and he's not 100% honest as he claims to be. He said some things to me about his relationship, and then it made a little bit of sense how he's around all these females, and like, I feel like he manipulates his position to get near women by using his innocence to leverage his ability to gain the likeliness of women, whether that's for sexual gains or relationship gains. I don't know. Maybe he was deprived of that when he was young. Maybe he didn't, girls didn't like. Which, I'm not going to lie, he kind of looks kind of nerdy, and maybe he has struggled and has trauma with that in his life with females, and maybe that's why he operates the way he does. I don't know. I've just seen the nature of this in the professional world now, of men preying on female. Like, I have seen this scenario before, and it looks very familiar. Like, and I was actually shocked. One of my exes actually had a youth worker when she was young, when she was a youth, and then when she grew up, he tried to engage with her and said, "I've been waiting until you became an adult that I could sleep with you." And I witnessed this over text. She showed me it, when she was, like 22 or something like that. But I was just like, wow, people will prey on you like that through the establishment, through the system, and act professional and really care about you and pretend, and really be trying to help you. And then all of a sudden you find out, when you're an adult, now he was waiting for you to become an adult so he could try to engage with you sexually. So I witnessed that multiple times in my life, and I am a protector of women. So I'm not convinced about his little act in the community based off of what I've seen so far and what he's done. You start to learn about people after a while. Yeah, I beaked him off. I called him a snake. Probably called him a bitch, maybe. I don't know, but never threatened him, never threatened anybody else. So people are trying to put me in jail, and, with my criminal history, the cops will just arrest me and believe it and not even take evidence and just be like, well, you have a history of that, so we're just going to look at that and put that on you. Even though I haven't been to jail since I was 18 years old, and I'm 29, so we're talking 10 to 15 years. But anyways, that's okay. They can keep playing that card. Him, and this is the only way that he can get women in his life. I don't know. But something's wrong, and something's wrong with all of this shit, and I never said anything, and now I'm saying something, so I don't even really feel comfortable with you on my Facebook. I don't know why, but I just don't feel like you're an authentic person, and you never really try to reach out to me, but you surely seen my video and bypassed me and linked up with my fucking boss and then replaced me and cut my shit in half. So the least you could have done, facts, man, was say thank you. He said some things to me. It just shows, like, you don't think I've been used before. Like, females have tried to, like, use me to get to other guys in my circle of people just so they could, But anyways, like, I just know I study human psychology, and I can just tell people's intent and their, who's sincere, who's genuine, and who's not, and that comes from, 15 years in the street, going to jail, and also now entering a professional world and seeing how organizations run from the inside out. So anyways, I will not allow people to slander me and say that I'm threatening when I'm not. So, and she didn't have too much to say. I'm back. Really sorry that I'm not even gonna play her stuff. I can only play my stuff. So anyways, all right, so now here is me showing him all the evidence. Those you can pause this and read all this after. Forwarded all of them. Showed him the other ones that said error. She can also send them if they work on her side. But anyways, now here is more manipulation and false claims. So this is the letter that he's going to send out to all my superiors and everybody that's supporting me right now, to further try and burden my ability. After he heard those voice clips, I bet he's actually touched by that for sure, right? And I honestly have every right to my opinion, to feel any which way I choose. But, what started this was him claiming that I threatened a female, and I just showed you guys all the evidence. So if he wouldn't make such serious false claims like that against me, I wouldn't have to, challenge his integrity, but or even address this situation at all. Like, I just expressed myself to her how I felt, and that was it. Yeah, I'm a little intense sometimes. Fuck, who cares? Fucking human being, man. Like, come from the street. You're lucky I'm not out there fucking being a fucking gangster. I've come a long way, man. Go check my resume. Go find out about me. Sincere Music on YouTube. Cory Resilient as a separate channel. Go see who I really used to be. Sincere Music. Music with a Z. You'll see my music video. No Reason. Look it up. But I've come a long way, and it's impressive, and people don't admire that for some reason. But anyways, I spoke with Cory again just an hour ago. He vehemently denied, whatever that means, doing anything threatening towards Serafina. See how he's saying that? Like, yeah, I didn't. There's the evidence. Like, see what I mean? I know everybody's feeling this right now. I know they're seeing the manipulate. I felt it fair to follow through with his assertion, whatever, which is false. I actually contacted him and told him that you can't make false claims about criminal elements without actually investigating evidence and bringing it to the plate. So he said he would go back and or he said, okay, I'll unblock you so you can send me the voice clips and I can investigate it. So really, I was the one that got him to investigate the situation, after he's already made the false claims of saying that I threatened and was aggressive towards a female, and he didn't even look at the evidence. So I said, I have the evidence, and I'm going to put it up. So you better make sure you correct yourself here, because you've really just destroyed my relationships professionally, and now it's going to cause me to go back to homelessness and be limited to the help that I got now. So you've pretty much ruined my life off of a false claim, and now you're going to try and defend yourself and cover your own end by doing this. So anyways, that was false. I'm the one that told him to investigate it. He did not take the initiative. I initially followed through with telling you all, because I heard, telling you all, where you find you don't even have the information, you don't have no proof, and you go and tell everybody that I threatened a female and was aggressive to her. That's quite an accusation. You would think that you would investigate that first before you go and tell all somebody's, superiors and employment and housing connections to try to burden my, slander my name. Serafina, that this was the case and that she felt threatened. You guys heard those clips, right? Okay, cool. I have had multiple personal instances of Cory verbally harassing. Okay, so now he needs to educate himself about what harassment is. Harassment would be when you tell somebody to stop contact with you and they continuously engage with you after you've told them not to, and they find means to reach you after you've blocked them. That would be considered harassment. Verbally harassing, so that doesn't even match up. Maybe verbally abusive. Yeah, maybe. I definitely called you, what I saw you as after I seen all this. A snake. So he mentioned that. So that hurt his feelings. Cory verbally harassing and threatening myself. Oh, so now he's saying that I threatened him now. Okay, well, I hope you have the evidence of that, because I would absolutely never threaten anybody, because I'm an adult. And I've actually been through all that stuff when I was young and learned from my mistakes, and I'm not a fool. So just because I have a criminal history doesn't mean that you can just falsely try to make me out to look like a criminal. And that's what he's trying to do. Now he's saying that threatening myself. Okay, that's 100% false. So those are two false claims of threats with absolutely no evidence after I presented real evidence. So if I do get, if the police come and scoop me up, make sure you guys send this to the Victoria Police, this video, Vic PD, and to Make Way, the organization that is connected to his organization, and just everywhere you can, by the way, because this is crazy. He just said that I threatened him now. Buddy, if I threaten somebody, I'm saying, yo, I'm going to fucking do you in, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Why would I fucking threaten I'm not gonna punch my prior boss out or fucking threaten him like I'm gonna beat him up. You think I would have threatened him and he wouldn't have called the cops and I would have went to jail? Of course that you can't threaten people. You know what I'm saying? Just because people feel threatened because they're scared and fucking fragile doesn't mean that I threatened anybody. Like, that's your own mental illness. Like, you could walk down the street and feel like everybody is gonna kill you and feel threatened by everything by cars driving by you. Like, that's, you need to work on your mental health. Lastly, threatening myself, so it was not a great leap to believe the same hadn't transpired with her. Lastly, we had told Cory if anything like this happens again, we would be forced to call the police. That's false. He's never said that before. He said we would end contact if I were to call him names again, call him a bitch, snake, probably like that. I don't know. Sharing it was that a different form of intervention could happen. So he's trying to act like me going to jail and being falsely charged for threats that I've never delivered would be a good intervention for me. So that's more corruption and complete mental distortion. Cory sent me the voice correspondence he had with Serafini. He sent approximately 5 voice clips of blah blah. This video is getting long, so I'm gonna let you guys pause this and read this stuff. So I'm gonna go down a little bit. Whatever. There was no direct threat. What I found was that there was no direct threat. i.e., I'm going to hurt you. Oh, see, now he's trying to fucking carve a narrative out of this. Wow. Okay. You guys heard the voice clips, right? Okay, good. There was a string of voice messages that I would call abusive and ranty. That's so. I'm Canadian. I have all the rights to fucking freedom of speech. As long as I'm not threatening anyone or being aggressive to anybody, especially a female, then yeah, I can do whatever I want. You are evil and practice witchcraft. Yeah, go look on our Facebook. You guys will see that. I'm not out of pocket for that. That was accurate. You manipulated me and took my spot. Never said you manipulated me. I just said you took my spot. I can understand how Serafina, with her background, interpreted threatening. Indeed, it is abusive. Okay, well, you might want to look up what abusive is as well, because those are harsh words, and you really gotta, hurt people to be abusive. He also tried to, and my intent was obviously through those voice clips not to hurt nobody. From working us by fabricating some things about me personally, so he's touched by that, how I approach work with women. See, there's the motive right there of why he's doing this. I don't know if this affects your decision to work with him at all. Okay, there you go. So now he's trying to imply, I don't know how this might affect you, working with him, but maybe you should, cut ties. But, I have, we support you, Cory. We're your friend, buddy. I think he is in dire need of therapy and ongoing support, and do hope that that will continue to be there for him. Amwin House tried to pull the same shit on me. So I just want to tell you guys, I did all this, right? I went through this whole program. I got employed. I did, the recovery house. I did it for a year. You know what I'm saying? Just so I could expose them. Literally, just so I could break down their program internally and actually expose them. The same, you know what I'm saying? For the corruption. So they all did the same thing at the end. They're like, oh, you need counseling and you're mentally ill and shit. My people on my YouTube channel and my people that know me know I'm not mentally ill. I'm just a fucking extreme real motherfucker, and I pull cards and I call people out for their bullshit. And people are scared of me because they're fucking pussies and they're weak. And act like I'm threatening to, I don't even raise my voice to these little delicate little people. I wish him all the best, blah, blah. I'm sure you do, based off of everything that we just seen here. You're not as clever as you think, sir, and there are people that are going to witness this and see this video that are going to agree and understand that that's a fact. So I said, good thing. I'm not going to message him because I agreed to not contact him directly or indirectly, or anybody affiliated with his organization, which I'm not going to because I just agreed to that now, formally. So I just wrote it out to remember it, and I didn't send it. Because see that? If I accidentally sent this message, bam, criminally charged. After I said I would not contact him any further, he would exploit that right away and call the cops. With what he has right here, with no evidence, trying to slander me, there's not much he can do. But I'm still at risk because of, you know, the nature of this and the false claims, considering that I do have a criminal history and they're trying to exploit that. And that has happened to me before, and people have utilized that and exploited that against me. And obviously I've been trying to do good for a long time, 15 years, no charges. You know what I mean? Like, I've been doing good and I got myself employed. I did all this. I did all the work. You know what I mean? So, and that's why people wanted to help me. So now if everyone wants to backpedal because, you know, of all this false fabrication, you know what I mean, then it seems like a plot against me to actually, probably maybe they got close to me to observe me and then realized that I've found them to be corrupt, and they were scared about their position and their credibility, and I exposed them because they tried to damage me. So, Amwin House and the Existence Project. So imagine that, guys. Here's all the evidence right here. There you go.